Lawmen, Bass Reeves, season finale, episode 8, is 53 minutes long, and it's a straightforward story. After the culmination of 8 weeks with 8 episodes, David Oyelowo as Bass Reeves is a phenomenal acting in a TV series that I've seen in a very long time, based on a historical figure that is not mentioned as often as he should be in the history books or word of mouth or what happened to the man they call Bass Reeves, Deputy Bass Reeves. Now, this episode is heavily focused on Bass going after Esau Pierce, or Esau Pierce, however you want to call it, however you want to pronounce it. And himself, Cheryl, Billy Crow, go and kind of wrangle up this guy and kind of beat out of him where Esau is, what he's doing. And kind of Cheryl kind of takes matters into his own hands, shoots the man. And, Bass has more so of a heart and kind of, does things by the books, by the justice, by the law. And we know that since the first episode, or since he was sworn in as deputy. And kind of in a way, Cheryl and Bass butt heads. And Dennis Quaid as Cheryl is really, really good, but not more so focused as Bass Reeves is in this entire series. You could say Dennis Quaid's role is kind of cameo, short form, not really much prominent, but he was really prominent in this episode. Billy Crow was as well, but Billy Crow, once again, was a minor supporting character in this entire series. Anytime Bass Reeves, the character, is on your screen, the small screen, it's really, really poignant. It's really simple. You are just drawn in by the acting that David Oyelowo has for this role. All the while it's happening, he gets to the plantation where Esau is, and you kind of know that he's Mr. Sundown. And when Bass goes into this home, or Esau's home, or Esau, he kind of sees all this stuff. Heads of animals and a T-Rex kind of head there, like a dinosaur fossil. And it's like, wait a minute, what? And as Esau was going to this plantation, he sees dinosaur footprints there. And it's kind of really interesting because you could tell that Bass has never seen anything like this before. And it just goes to show how the character of Esau is really, really like. And you knew he was the bad guy, but we didn't think that we would see him so soon in this, I want to say, series. Because he went away for a while and then came back. And it's just like, oh, okay. And then the dynamic and the dialogue that Esau and Bass have back and forth about knowing what's right with the law, who wears the badge right, how certain aspects of how Esau kind of perceives Chinamen or black people. He has black people working on his plantation, black men, and the aspect of wolves, and kind of Esau takes Bass to, the area where he has cows. And Esau's like, yeah, I'm going to be the best cattle. You're going to have the best steak from Atlantic to the Pacific. And, you see that. And you see Esau's idea of what he wants to do. Not only that, we see that the man that Bass gave to Esau is actually still alive, the outlaw. And Bass is like, what? What's going on? And kind of in a way, Esau was like, yeah, the boots are, whatever with the money and everything, but the body is worth more. So that's why he's keeping certain people. A gunfight breaks out, and with Cheryl, Billy Crow, Bass Reeves, and kind of, in a way, Cheryl kind of gets his foot caught in a bear trap, and his character dies after shooting himself. And you can see that character was null and void in a way with Dennis Quaid. And then Billy Crow goes to help Bass. Bass goes after Esau, shoots him dead, and, kind of frees the slaves. Bass kind of goes back into the plantation home and then takes all the money that was in Esau's Pierce, gives it to the outlaw and the other African American men, and then says, I hear Kansas is nice. So they go about their time. That was heavily focused on Bass Reeves. The underlining story, the subplot in this was with Bass's wife Jenny and her friend Esme. Kind of Esme trying to be that preacher woman that she is and trying to give every African American their own way of living and everything. And then kind of in a way, as Jenny's going back home because Sally is sick, we see a white woman sitting on the porch. It's like, who is this white woman? Well, this white woman is the wife of George Reeves, Bass Reeves' kind of slave owner. And she's there, and we all know the whole aspect that when Sally was born, Jenny had the baby, and Esme helped deliver it, and this white woman, so to speak, kind of is the first to hold her and doing everything, and she's there, and it's like, yeah, you should bring your kids back home. And then she's like, my kids are home. And she's like, this, and that. She's like, that certain kids should be doing this, and then they should be field, workers. But she doesn't use workers, she uses the N word. And then Jenny just slaps the shit out of her, tells her to get out of the house. So it's worth it. It's good that that happened because, like, listen, you don't disrespect someone in their own home when they been through shit and you gave them shit and you do that inside their home, you deserve to get smacked across the goddamn face. So that was nice to see that happen. And after everything happens, Bess comes home, and it's the happy ending that you want for him. All the recollection of the entire series through his mind, what he's been through, who was saved, who was not saved. And it was just a good show that ended really, really well. David Oyelowo is getting very high praise for his performance in this role, which is absolutely exceptional. I love it. I want to see more of David Oyelowo in movies or in TV series for that matter. He just is the personification of a lawman, no pun intended. But then we have the factor of, will this get another season? Because the way this ended, the show kind of played it off in a kind of safe way, where if it doesn't get renewed, this ending was perfect how it ended. But if it does get renewed for a second season and continues on with the story, and we see Bass fighting more villains or going after more fugitives, outlaws, or whatever it is, then it can work in a way. And it's a really good show. All episodes are now streaming on Paramount Plus. Love what Paramount Plus is doing, or Paramount in general, with their shows and their films. Really good, really poignant, really fun to watch. And just you're in that moment. And for Lawmen Bass Reeves to be that underlining show of word of mouth will get it going. And that's what it is, word of mouth. I'm pretty sure no one else is doing episodic reviews of Lawmen Bass Reeves, but I figured why not? Because I love westerns. I love shows like this that are not talked about, especially for historical figures that should be mentioned more in history and the history books and should be taught more, even for a little bit or minute details. It should be mentioned. Not only that, there are aspects to this show that were really good. The action was good, but it was dialogue driven. It what drove the story along. What's going to happen? What's this? What's that? And there are some aspects where it was like, all right, some of these stories are there, here. Donald Sutherland as Judge Parker was really good. I wanted more of that character, and it's good to see Donald Sutherland in a show like this, a big name. Dennis Quaid doing TV. Everything worked and was so cohesively well done for Lawmen Bass Reeves. If it doesn't get a second season, that's okay. If it does, great. But like I said, check the show out, watch the show. Not only is the dialogue and the acting great, it's also the scenery, the setting, the history of slavery, the South. I mean, it's just what it is. And also look up the story and history of Bass Reeves. Look it up online. Pick up a few books. Read about him, his biography, what it is, and what he did, and what he did to change things. It's all there, and it's really fun. And I had an absolute fun time watching this, and it was a blast. For me, Lawmen Bass Reeves, which is now streaming on Paramount Plus, gets 5 out of 5 stars from me. So let me know in the comment section below what you thought about Lawmen Bass Reeves. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? What did you think about the aspect of the story, the acting, the setting, the characters? Who was your favorite character? Who was your least favorite character? Did you like when Bass was on, and did the show kind of slow down when he wasn't? And do you think more could have been done with this season, or do you think it was perfect enough? And do you want to see a second season of Bass Reeves, or do you think that this one-off season, this entire 8-episode arc, was really good and they should leave it at that? Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked, and be sure you click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for new review videos on my channel. I will see you all in the next review video. Oh, and also let me know what rating you would give Lawmen and Bass Reeves. I'm Mr. Filmstock, and thank you so much for tuning into my episodic weekly review of Lawmen, Bass Reeves.